friends, Carver Guy here. Just want to let you know we're doing something a little different with the videos. So make sure you pay close attention. There might be something in there that might be of interest to you. It'll give you a little hint about what's coming up in the next video. And also, if you're the one that finds it first and you put it in the comments, I might have to send that to you if you want it. So pay close attention in the video. Could be a keyword, could be a hint, could be something, I don't know. Just look for it. See what you can find. Put it in the comments though. And the first one that puts it in the comments and it is correct, I'll contact you, and you can contact me and get your information and I'll send it to you. Also, since it's Memorial Day, we'd like to thank all the brave men and women out there who've been protecting our country and fighting for our freedoms. We thank you, we love you, and God bless the ones who gave it all to protect our freedoms. God bless you and your families. Thank you. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Basswood Carving. All right, so I feeling a little patriotic, and since we got Memorial Day coming up, figured I would do a little fun little project, and it's pretty easy, so we should be able to knock this out pretty quick. So we're starting off with an 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches by 6. Okay, so we got 1.5 inches square and 6 inches tall. All right, so if you want to do this project, that's kind of what size you're going to need to get started. And I kind of went on ahead and laid everything out so that we'd be able to go real quick. So what we're going to do first is we'll just draw some lines on here and get this all lined out. So the first two you're going to draw is going to be at 1.5 inches and at 2 inches. So put your little mark on there, draw your line completely around, and the next one will be at 3 inches. So put a little tick mark, and we're working off the corner this time because this is going to be a nose. So at 3 inches will be the bottom of the nose, and then another inch down, 4 inches mark, put a little tick mark, and then from the bottom we're going to have 1 inch and 1.25 inches, sorry, and 1/2 inch. All right, so those are the marks, and then we're going to have one more. We're going to have one at 3 inches. Okay, from the bottom. Those are from the bottom. So 1/2 inch from the bottom, then 1.25 inches up from the bottom, and then sorry, let me check that again. 1.25 inches from the bottom, and then 2 inch mark, and then that 3 inch mark should be where the bottom of the nose is. Okay, all right, so let's hog on this thing for a little bit. So this is going to be a hat, of course, and this is going to be our hat brim. All right, so just go ahead and put your cuts in and make some V cuts. And this is kind of a fun little hat. It's going to be a big hat. All right, and I had somebody email me wanting to know if I would do something about faces. So I'll do some stuff on faces in some upcoming videos. But you know, for the ones who are new at getting started carving, I know faces are always a challenge, even for me still. You know, they're a challenge. So this fun little guy, he won't have a face. All right, he's just gonna have a big old round nose, hidden. His face will be kind of hidden under the hat. All right, so put your notch in there, and then just go ahead and start taking this down and rounding it off. And I got a nice piece of Heineke wood here, so chips are going to be flying for sure. This wood is really nice and soft. Seemed like in the past, in my other videos, it always took me a while to carve something out, and mostly because of the wood that I was using was just atrocious. But I got this new this new Heineke basswood that I bought. Man, this stuff is so nice. It's really nice. You can just carve away on it when you watch some guys taking big hunks of wood out at a time. It's mostly because they got a good piece of wood. I bought a whole bunch of wood a while back, you know, from Woodcraft, and man, that stuff was so hard. It just wasn't that fun carving. So go ahead, start your hat, get it all carved around, and we'll start working on our brim here in a minute. This hat's gonna be pretty easy. See, when you can take an end grain off like that, I mean, I'm not even really trying to take big chunks off because I don't want to get too carried away, take off more than I need. But when you can cut an end grain like that, man, you know you got a nice piece of wood, because these end grains are always a nice piece of wood and a good sharp knife. That's what makes carving fun. Ain't too much fun when you got an old piece of hard wood you can't hardly carve around, or you just got to keep taking little chunks out. But I'm gonna go ahead and work on this hat a little bit, and I figured I would do something for Memorial Day, because I didn't serve in the military, but I'm a military brat, so to say. That's what my dad used to say, because I was born while he was in the service, and I was born on the Army base, Walmack Army Hospital in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. So it bothers me when they say they want to change the name of the military base, because that's my birthplace. So that's one little thing that about it is I had a good job, landed a really good job when I came out of tech school, and I just really didn't. I kind of wanted to go into the military, but because I already had a good job and was pursuing a new career, I just decided against it. But I do appreciate all the service of our great servicemen and women, and I appreciate all my friends that did time in the military, and my subscribers that's put time in the military. Appreciate y'all, and without you, I wouldn't have this nice house, nice yard, and the freedom to come and go as I want. I try not to get too political on the channel, but I am somewhat of a patriot when it comes to my country and my flag and things like that. So, and my video will probably not get around very much, except to my subscribers, if I put patriot and stuff on the titles, but I don't care on this one. You know, you guys will find it. But it's a shame that I can't put a video up about a patriot. Anyway, I'm not going to harp on all that. But I've been busy. I've been really busy. Like I said, I told you guys in other videos that you know, we started another company, so we've been really busy with that, and the existing company, which is ours, my family's, is really busy as well. So it's been hard to get a video out, and I try to treat this like a more of a hobby, not a job, because I've got enough jobs, so I don't need to treat this like a job. But I do know that I have almost 2,000 subscribers, and usually every time I put a video up, I seem to go up in subscribers, and I'm kind of stuck right now on about, I think last I looked was like 975. So I do want to get a video up, get my subscribers. I want to get to that 1,000 subscribers. That was a goal for me, and I'm almost there, so I got to reach that goal. So if you haven't liked the channel, please hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Appreciate it. I'm so close. When I look at my YouTube algorithms, it says that I have more people that watch the video that are not subscribed. So if you're watching this video or any of my other videos in the past, please subscribe. It really kind of encourages me to do more videos. But right now, a bunch of stuff's going on, like I said, with the business. And my garden, I finally got my garden in. I gotta have a garden every year because I love homegrown tomatoes, green beans. We find the time to can. I've always canned, so we can have tomatoes and green beans all year long. So we did can, and I always have a garden, and usually it's out before this time of the year, but I finally got in because everything's been so wet. Every time I try to till it up, it was just clodding up, and I was like, I don't want to mess up my soil by tilling it too early or tilling it muddy, because that's one of the worst things you can do, is till up a garden when it's too wet. But I did get everything in, got all my beans planted, my tomatoes are starting to go crazy, even got a few little tomatoes on there. And my goal is always usually try to get a tomato before the 4th of July. But this year's been a tough one, so I don't know if that's going to happen. Last year, I believe I did. I'm pretty sure I did. So I'm just rounding this off right now. I'll put a little shape to it in a minute. I'll show you what we're looking for. But right here, let's do the nose. Let's get the nose started so we don't cut too far down on that. So he's going to be faceless, but he's going to have a nose. So I want to notch that out so I don't lose that. And we're going to do a round nose. So I'm going to come from this notch right here. It's kind of a ball nose, I guess you'd say. There. And then from here, same thing. And this just keeps me from cutting it off. I'll shape it up. And remember, when you're doing things like this, always cut them bigger than what you really kind of plan on them being. So that way that, I won't end up having a little dinky nose here. In the back, he's going to have long hair. He's going to have a little ponytail and everything. So we don't want to take too much away from that yet. Let's just keep working on this hat, because we don't want him to have a square hat. So we got to kind of start rounding this thing down, the brim down, and that'll kind of tell us how the rest of the stuff can go. So I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. I'm thinking under an hour, but you never know how things go. So I'm going to shut up for a minute and hack away on this, and I'll give you a time lapse to get till we get to an important part. Okay, we're going to take and cut this nose in a little bit and get it started. So I'm just going to take my knife, get down in there. Careful when you get to the ends. That's where you always got to really be careful. I think by not wearing a glove makes me more cautious when I'm not wearing a glove. When I get the glove on, I tend to get a little risque, I guess you'd say. All right, so I'm just cutting this in just to mark it off so I don't take off too much. And I'll take a little triangle out of there like we always need to do. Helps show the depth, gives it a little detail, a little shadow, and helps me get started with rounding it. And just come back in and take that little sliver out around the nose. So for you guys that are following along with the sheriff horse, I didn't forget about it. I've actually been working on it a little bit to get those legs. When I did the live video, if you haven't seen it, you can go back and see the live kind of that I did. I really didn't get to do as much of the good carving on it that I wanted to, and that's one of those projects where I'm not in a real big hurry to finish it. And some of you guys maybe have started yours, I apologize. So I'm getting ready do another video on that, but I don't think I'm going to do a live. The trouble with the lives is it's cool that I get to talk to everybody, but it's really hard to carve something and be focused on a live video, because I keep checking the chat and then I go back, and I just haven't got that quality down yet that I like. I recorded with my phone on one camera, and it seemed to be kind of washed out looking after I watched it. So I still got some issues to work on to get better at doing the lives. And like I said, I really want to take my time and do my horse right. Like I said, you can, if you want to carve the horse, you can go ahead and watch Lynn Dowdy's videos, because he's got the complete videos on the horse. For me, it wasn't really just like not trying to like steal Lynn's ideas or anything. It was really more or less, I just wanted to carve it for one because I wanted the horse. I needed the horse. I need to do me the horse. And I just kind of wanted to see what different things I could do to it that would still make it pleasing and not infringe on Lynn's video. So if you're waiting on me, I appreciate it. I'm going to take my time, and there'll be videos popping up with it. But if they're going to be videos, I'm not going to do them on live. I thought maybe I would just do some carving talk on a live if I do any more lives, because I really enjoyed the first one where I could actually talk to people and interact in the chat. But it's really hard to do that and carve at the same time. It just, I don't know, it just was hard for me. Maybe because I was nervous about the lives and making it look good and not wanting to miss anybody's comments and stuff like that. And really, in an hour, I didn't get as much done as I wanted to. Whereas when I'm doing the videos, I can carve here for 3 hours and at least get it down to where you're not sitting there watching a 3-hour video of me just carving away, because I can do the time lapse, and that speeds up certain things that you can just sit there and watch. Or if you're carving it on your own, you can kind of carve while you're watching it and get it to the points where I'm at with it. So apologize if you're looking for the horse videos. It's coming. I'm gonna work on that this week. I always talk about work keeping me from doing it, but it's the honest truth. And I got some other couple ideas that I'm working on, and I know I always say that, but this is one of them I'm doing right here that I've been wanting to do. And since Memorial Day was coming up, I thought I could jazz him up for Memorial Day. Because like I said in the past videos, I really enjoy the little quick carves and stuff that beginners can do. And this is it. If you can't carve a face, you can just carve something without a face and still make it a cool carving. And you'll see that in the end, or you've probably already seen it in the thumbnail. So he's a little patriotic guy. But we want to get this hat down, and I'm kind of bellowing it in and leaving it kind of balled out at the top. The other reason I fast to do time lapse too is because I run out of things to say in an hour. Hour and a half, 2 hours. Sometimes it takes me longer. But A lot of you said that you enjoyed the talking through the videos, and that's cool. I appreciate that. I didn't really plan on that really being a important part of the video, but to some of you it is, and I'm sure there's some of you that just wish he'd shut up and carve. So when I time lapse it, I can kill a couple birds with one stone. All right, so I'm kind of rounding that off, and I'm going to do a little more rounding once I get some of this other stuff done and working, taking it down. Let's jump down to the feet now. Just set our feet in. You know, these are all pretty typical things that you always start off if you're doing a caricature in block form. You know, cut your feet in, get everything kind of laid out. Now his arms I'm not going to worry about till I get his beard in, so I'm going to go ahead and draw his beard in, and what I'm going to do is come down from the hat down to this point right here, which is the top of his hands, and I'm going to bring it down to a point. Hope I'm not getting out of the camera. Try not to zoom it in as much this time so I don't get out of the camera as much. So we're going to give him a beard, and we're going to carve that beard, but you'll see that we're going to make it, after we get it carved in, we're going to make it look like it's tucked in behind his hands. So his top of his hands is going to be right here because he's got to hold that flag. Okay, so we're just going to kind of square a box in for the hands for right now. Okay, so that would be where his hands are. Now we got a ponytail. He's got long hair and a ponytail. So we're going to bring that down around the back. Same way here. Coming from where the corner of the hat is. And we're going to bring that down about like that. Now don't ask me for a pattern because there is no pattern. It's just me drawing it out and making nonsense, putting it together. It was just something I picked up and started whittling around on. All right, so we're going to make his, I'll show it to you when I get it all laid out here. That's a little better. Come down here with a little bit more hair. I don't look nothing like the other side. Okay, so we'll start with that. We'll shape it up when we get there, and it's yours. You know, create your own style. If you don't want to do a ponytail, you can give him short hair. But it's really just kind of helped me lay things in. Okay. And then the back, you're not going to see it because his Carvers is what he's wearing. They call them now Chuck Taylors. His Chuck Taylors are going to be tucked under his suit. So he's got kind of hanging over his shoes look to him. Well, we'll get all that in once we cut up under the arms and all that. We just want to make sure that we don't take off too much more than we need to. And we're gonna have to tuck him up under here anyway, so cut these in a little bit because we need to square it off. A little notch in there for the hands. This is just roughing everything in, getting it laid out like you always do. Just so we don't lose them. Okay, so now we're going to take and cut our beard in. So just run your knife down along that little line that you've drawn down to the corner. Always be careful when you get to the end right there. That's where you're going to get yourself. And then like right here when you're coming across, pretty easy places to slip. Okay. Especially when you got a really good piece of wood like this. That's nice and soft. Oop. I didn't slip, I dropped it. When you got a nice piece of wood like this, not that it chips off as much, just come right on through it. Just take that little sliver out of there for right now, but you don't take off a bunch yet, because we still need his arms. Okay, and we're doing the beard like it's sticking out, but it's not going to stick out. Then we'll take and just cut this little square right here so I can bring the hands out a little more. There again, not real deep yet. Just enough to pull it out of there. So the person that emailed me about the faces, I got a couple ideas, and then I'll show you a way you can make your own little busts. I haven't done much busts. I got a couple over there that I did learning faces myself, but these little busts are pretty cool. I actually got the pattern from a guy in my carving club, and they're just little busts that you can cut out. Pretty simple little cut. And if you don't have a bandsaw or a scroll saw, I will show you something. But anyway, these little busts are cool because you can make a bunch of them, and like they're really easy to make and don't take up a lot of wood, and you can really practice your faces. And that way, if you mess up, it's no big deal. You haven't worked, for hours to get a little body done, and then all of a sudden, here you are, you messed the face up. Because like I always said, I was told there's always a face under a face. So if you mess it up, you carve it off. But that's only to a certain extent. There's not 10 faces under a face. So if you keep messing them up, then eventually you end up not having a face or a sunken face. which I guess is all right for caricatures. Okay, so I'm just still just laying things out a little bit, and I'll show it to you here in just a second. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys a new tool that I got that is really good if you don't have a bandsaw. I mean, I'm sure this tool's been around for quite some time, but I finally got me one, and I've seen other people use it before, and I thought, man, I need to get one of them. Because I always like new tools, don't we? Okay, all right, so now I'm gonna come back here, and I'm gonna do the same thing, just lay the hair out. And you know what, on this side where I kind of messed the line up, don't worry about it if you mess the line up. It's just hair. It could be just partitioned that way. Okay, so come in here. My lighting is terrible today. We don't have no sun out. So I have a little bit of time seeing the lines. If I try to add more lighting, it just seems like everything gets washed out. I think it's because I'm down here in the basement, and we got a studio down here in our basement. I say basement, but it's really our office studio. But sometimes I've only got 2 little windows down here, some little square windows. And when there ain't no sun out, it gets kind of dark in here. Sometimes I rely on that natural light that's coming through. Okay, so I think we can kind of lay in some arms now. Funny thing about arms is I always have trouble getting that angle of the elbow right. So this one's we're going to use this as an arm, as the top of the arm, because it's going to be tucked under his beard. One edge of well, not really under his beard, but his beard's going to kind of be laying on top of his arm. So really what we got to do is just come around here. It might be a little too wide. Got a big hand there, so I'm going to shorten the hand up a little bit. come up around here like so. And it's going to meet into the shoulder right here. So let's do that. And then we'll come up about the same amount over here. Put a little mark there. And come up into here. And we'll make this his arms. Scratch this one. Here's one way to erase a pencil line. Erasers make a mess. But a knife is nice and clean. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to shorten this hand a little bit, but we'll do that in the rounding process. All right, so he's going to be holding a flag. All right, so I want to leave this chunk here so I got room to drill a hole and put a little flag. And what I'm going to use is a little dowel. Now, if you don't know where to get dowels, go to Walmart. If you go to Walmart or hobby store, and they sell a pack of dowels that are all different sizes. I think they're up to like 1/4 of an inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch thick. And inside that pack, there's a bunch of little dowels. This is the smallest dowel. I don't know what size. I don't know. It's a tiny one. Let's see, it looks like it's about 3/16, a little under 1/4 of an inch, 3/16. And we're going to put a hole in there. And we're going to drill a hole down in there. Don't worry about his beard, because we're going to tuck his beard back in there. And it's going to look like this is going to be on top of his beard. And then we're going to drill a hole and we're going to stick this in. Now, the way I'm going to make the flag is I've got a flag set up on the computer. And what you got to do is I'll tell you about the flag, and then that way when you see it, I won't have to go through making one, you'll know. But when you print it out mirrored. So one flag's going to be going this way, one flag's going to be going this way. Okay, and then you're going to leave some space, enough space that'll go around that dowel. So it's probably about 1/4 of an inch in between the two flags. So when you print them on sticker paper, you can fold that around and you'll have a two-sided flag. Okay. I've done this before for a little project I did for somebody that needed some flags, and that's how I made them. So take and print it out on your sticker paper, and kind of wrap it around here and check it, because you want the flag to kind of come towards the front of the stick. So when you stick them together, you'll have a little bit of white space back here. Okay, and then the flag will line up out here, and you stick it together, and then the sticker will help hold it onto here too as well. And then you can drill your hole, and then if need be, you can kind of whittle this down a little bit and make it fit in your hole. Or you can just drill the hole big enough to fit this, but be careful, because you're going to be drilling at an angle. You want him to be holding that up in the air like that. It's going to be a little shorter, though. It's not going to be this long, but I was just showing you the piece of dowel that I was going to use. So you want to stick that down in there and then kind of prop it up kind of like that. So your hole is going to kind of go in at an angle. You're not going to drill straight in. You're going to drill it at an angle. Okay, and then that'll hold the flag, and then you can glue it in there so it stays in there. Okay. So yeah, I probably won't go through that process of making the flag, but that's how we're going to make a flag. Okay, so cut your arm in, same way we've cut everything else in. Take that little sliver out and do that at this point, because we're going to bring this down. He's going to be a little narrow under the arm, so we want to bring this down, and we want to do our feet and stuff, so we got to do that before we get too far ahead. All right, so just cut you a little line in there for his arm, and it's going to kind of curve into this corner over here, and just kind of make sure you get it even on both sides. And we'll shape it in a minute. Don't worry about all this roughness. It's going to look rough. Carving always looks rough to you till you start laying the details in there and cleaning stuff up. But you kind of want these arms to be, you want them to be the same width for sure. And they'll stick out once we start taking away some of this other stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do that so I can speed it up a little bit and get to spend more time doing the details. Okay. All right. So I just kind of shaped that. Now we're going to bring that beard. Now I kind of got the hands. I didn't talk you through that one, but basically I just took off those corners and kind of put a little round shape, little roundness to it, I guess you'd say. Then we'll blend it more in here. Take those little tips off there and just kind of blend it down to the arms. And we'll give him a sleeve here in a minute. But now we're to the point where we want to tuck this beard back under those hands. And I left it like that because I want to keep the height right here and then roll it down into the hands. That way it makes it look like it's actually tucked under the hands. All right, so now you just take your beard and start rolling it down to the hands. But leave as much up here as you can. And kind of roll it down into the arms a little bit right here. And then you'll be able to deepen your arms a little bit more too. But I left it there because I wanted to keep that little high point and then tuck it down in, so that way it makes it look like his arms are over top of his beard, if that makes sense to you. Okay, so just taking that tip down to the hands. Now we'll come back in, and now we're going to deepen right here by the beard by going down in some more. And then we're going to take out this side of the beard. We don't want to take out too much more of the arm. But once we add our texturing on that beard, it's gonna look good. you'll see. Okay, same thing on the other side. Define that beard again. Get that beard back in there. And don't go up to your shoulder, because what we're going to do is we're tucking that shoulder under his hair and his beard, so it looks like doesn't look like he's got a big old high shoulder. And come back in on the inside where the beard is. And take that out till you get it where you like it. Okay. Then I come down and just roll the tip of that shoulder down in there. Or tip of the arm, I mean, what I said shoulder. But same thing there. I'm going to take that shoulder. Okay, I think we can go a little more over here. Roll this down in. Basically, I'm just accomplishing that with a sliver, the V cut. Okay. I could probably take a little bit of this hump off right here. Just a little bit. Because remember, I still want it to look like it's going down in there. That it's puffing up. Kind of like if somebody put their arms. I don't have a big beard. Never have, but I can picture somebody putting their arms on it and it puffing up right there. Let's take a little bit more. So what carving really is about is visualization. You know, you visualize something and you make it happen in the wood. Okay, we're getting real close to being ready to put all the details in. Let's go back here and work on the hair a little bit. So we're going to round this around. And we'll probably work on the hat a little more. Now that we got kind of things laid out, we know that we can go deeper in some areas. I'm going to roll this hair in. And when I say roll in, really what I'm doing is just taking off that edge and dropping it down into that previous cut. Okay. Take off these sharp edges and get all this sawn wood off here. And you don't have to worry about getting too round, because once you put your texturing in there, you won't even be able to really tell. So really just get that sawn grain off of there. And that hump at the corner. Just cut it down and roll it in. I want to tuck this shoulder back in here a little more. So what I want to do is just make that little triangle cut. Come in here and separate it. I want that separation from his beard to his hair to his shoulder. And by the time you go back and take these edges down, you probably have to go a little deeper. Okay. All right, I think I'm about ready to put the feet in. Put his Chuck Taylors in. I ain't decided what I'm gonna call this yet. I think it's probably gonna be something like Uncle Sam. For Memorial Day. He also could be kind of cousin It from the Addams Family in a patriotic suit. Okay. All right, let's get his feet. So what we got to do here is we're going to separate his legs right down the center. And the one thing I didn't do, which I probably should do more often, because it does help you. And if you're a beginner, you should, really try and do it all the time, is to draw a center line all the way around your piece. It does help you keep things proportionate. Draw your center line, that way you can keep everything on center. All right, so I make that little cut there, and what I'm doing is just kind of separating his pants so I know where his feet should be. And cutting that up under his hand. Right there. And I'll roll that over and stuff. Make it a little wider. Okay. All right, so on his feet, we want some chucks. Almost cut it back too far, but I think we can save it. All right, so coming off from the body, just going to put a couple marks where I want his feet to come out. Might have to go a little deeper right there. But everything else from there back can just get rounded in, because it's going to tuck under his robe or suit pants or whatever you want to call it. All right, so put your marks for your feet. Say we're going to do right here, right here. Okay, now we want to have that look of his pants coming down over his shoes. So where I got my shoe, sorry if I got out of the camera, where I got my shoe, I want to come over a little bit. And put another little mark. Same way over here. Put another little mark. All right. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut in. Let's see. Use my flex cut on this one. All right, so his shoe's going to be here. And I'm going to take this down. Oh, let's get this kind of rounded first. Makes it easier if I can get it a little rounded first. And then I can see exactly how I want to cut that in. And the same thing over here. I'm going to cut a little notch in. It's almost just cutting a V cut right there. Okay. And then just roll that back into everything else. Okay, I'm back. The camera died on me, so I had to start up again. I put some fresh batteries in. But so we were working on these feet. We're trying to get these feet. I'm going to try to bust this out here for you real quick. So we were working on his Chuck Taylors here, and so got a little distracted when the camera stopped on me. So we'll bust it out. All right, so what we're going to do is once we got the feet cut a little bit there, we want to make sure that we get the pant leg tucked in. So we're taking this off around the feet, getting this down around his shoes. And then what we're going to do is, again, we're going to cut back at an angle towards the top of the shoe, just like this. I'll take that chip out of there. It's okay if you go ahead and do this now, because you can shape it down and make it look a little bit more. So I got this side a little thick right here. So I still got some more to take off of it, but I don't, if you get carried away, you'll take it off before you know it. You'll be like, oh, I didn't have enough there to do what I wanted to do. So, man, those chips being stubborn. All right, so that's where his shoe's going to be. Now we're going to go ahead and shave this down a little bit. And remember, in the back, we're just going to hide it. His pant legs are longer than his body, so we're going to tuck up in there a little bit. So let's get this back almost finished up. And then we'll start putting in the details. Get her painted up. Get his shoes squared up a little better right here. Okay. So right here, we can just make all that even now that we got that notch out of there. Clean it up a little bit. Now in the shoes, we're just going to take these corners off. Round them up a little bit. Same way over here. Just bring that in. And we can have a little bit of we can have him bowed out a little bit right here, but we kind of want it not that much. So we're going to take a little more off right here, because you want it to look like his pants are bellowed out a little bit. And we'll come back and touch this up when we get close to being done putting details in. Back around these shoes a little more. Okay, so we got his nose in, got his hands in, got his shoes in. I think we can start putting some finishing details on him and make him come together. Okay, he's going to have a little ponytail here. So we're going to put a little, yeah, let's go up a little higher. There. Okay, so we're just going to put a couple notches right there. Got too many knives laying around. Don't need that big hog anymore. So just going to do a little V cut all the way around. And come down to it a little bit. You don't have to take a lot out. Same way at the bottom. Little V cut. See, that's why I like this knife with this bow, with this shape of blade, because a lot of times when you're going around stuff like that, you can just kind of roll the knife and not have to pick it up. Thin this down a little bit. And carve up to his little hair tie there, because we want it to look like it's going down in there. can even take a little bit down to it just to make it stand out a little more. Yep. Let's see. So let's take a little bit more of this. See if we can make this arm look a little better. Just take some of that off. Kind of want them even on both sides. I mean, you kind of do, but you just don't want something all whacked out looking. Okay, so I think we're just about ready to put in some details here. I'm going to flatten the top of his feet a little more. Take this side back just a little bit and we'll be ready to go here. Okay. That's the thing about carving, man. You can sit here forever and just keep picking away at it. And usually sometimes I'll clean it up even after the video if I see a couple things, you know, but that's where it just comes down to you being a good carver and seeing things you don't like and making it yours. I always say that, making it yours, because really that's what you're doing. You just take my idea or somebody else's idea and just make it yours. Just kind of what I did with this kind of a hillbilly looking dude. Okay, all right, so let's put some details on here and get this thing done. First thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and use this little V tool. It's actually just a little U tool, and I'm just going to do this because it's just faster to do it with this. And so I'm just going to take and start grooving this in. And you guys have seen me do this before if you've watched my videos. So I'll go ahead and time lapse all this, and we're going to basically groove, put the little hair texture all the way around his beard, all the way around his back, and in his hair, all of his hair, I mean. So let's time lapse this out. Okay. All right, so let's see. We got another thing to do here. I need to take this hand down a little bit and put his little finger notches in there. Some little V cuts. 3 little V cuts. Okay, and then I'll drill the hole off camera, but I'll show you when I stick the flag in what it looks like. Okay, we got one more thing to do here. We're gonna give him a red, white, and blue hat here. So I'm gonna go up. Do it this way. I'm gonna go up about, yeah, let's do 3/4 of an inch, which is where I got that mark. And let's just kind of make a round circle around his hat. And it don't have to be a perfect line around there. It's a hat. Just make it meet on the other side, make it look somewhat even. Okay, so we got that, and then we want to do it evenly, so we need 6, so that'd be 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. That one will be 4, 5. Well, we've got to space them out more than that. Oh, let's get the eraser out. We need 6 little panels here. We want them even because I'm going to paint this red, white, and blue. So I'm going to do the top part is going to be blue. And then we put red and white bands around his hat. That's kind of what this is. It's kind of a red, white, and blue hat. There, erased them all off. Okay, let's try that again. So if we go here, we got 1, and we come directly in the back. We got 1. All right, so we'll go out here, and we'll make 3. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we got 6 panels. And we want it even because we want it to come out red, white, blue, red, white, blue, red, white, blue. Or I'm sorry, red, white, red, white, red, white. Okay. All right. So we're going to take our, first we'll cut it in with this little U tool. I've mentioned it before. If you don't have a set of these little Flexall micro chisels, man, these are the handiest things for detailing little stuff, and they're not that expensive. I think there's a few sets, but you get like 4 in a set. And I use these things all the time. I like them because they fit right here in my hand, and I can do little detailing like I did with the hair. I can come back and clean up fuzzies down in between cuts. If you get something that's got a little fuzziness to it, You can just take this little tool and get down in there. I think I got a V tool, 2 V tools, and 2 U tools, U-shaped tools. And they sell a couple different sets. You just have to look, but I like the U tool, the little U gouge, and the 2 little V tools. So man, that you can just put your line in. I could also do it with a knife, which I usually go back and once I got it cut in where I want it. And it's not that deep, so if I mess up, I can just cut it off and do it again. Shave it off. It's not that deep. But it's a handy little tool. Like right here where I got some fuzzies, I can just get right in there with this and clean it up. I don't know. Some people are like, knife only, knife only. But you'll see even your most experienced carvers once in a while will dig in that tool bag and pull out a chisel or a V tool. Probably V tool is probably the most used. But I like these little micro guys just for detail, and I think they do a good job. And they're cheap enough. If I mess one up, I just buy another set. All right, so there we go. We got that kind of cut in. Now I'll just come back and take my little pencil lines off and kind of cut that. Really all that's going to do is help me when I paint it too. It helps me keep the paint from running. Take my little pencil marks off. I think we can call him done for ready for paint. All right, I'll bring you back when he's all painted. And like I usually do, I don't like to bore you with the painting because I'm a slow painter and sometimes I got to do it a couple times and a couple coats. And I'm probably not going to do a stain wash on this. I'm probably going to go right to a solid paint just because I want the colors to really pop out. And I'll clean these off a little bit. Clean it up a little bit off camera. But that's pretty much it for Uncle Sam. Except for putting the hole in and the flag in. All right, so we'll bring you back when he's all painted. All right. Cut. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Got him all painted up. And he's all done. He's ready for Memorial Day. Trying to turn this thing off here. Okay, so clean him up a little bit more, because usually after I get off the camera, I see a bunch of fuzzies and everything. Kind of do a little better work on the feet there, but you know, hopefully you can see what the finished product looks like. I think he turned out pretty cool. I'm kind of excited about him. So you can see here, I drilled the hole in right at the beard, right at the corner of the beard, and kind of reshaped his handles a little bit. They were just a little bit too big. But I wanted to show you, because I don't think I explained it quite well enough about how I did the flag. Okay, I know I said I did the dowel, and then I'll show you what I did. Okay. So when I printed the flag just like this, back to back, like so. When you wrap it around the stick, it kind of lets that flag come forward a little more. So what helped me was fold it first, kind of fold it and get it shaped the way you want it. If you fold it in half and get it lined up, it works pretty good when you peel it. Okay. So then you're going to peel it. It's sticky, so stick it on here to get started. Line it up where you want it, and then bring your corners together like so. Okay, bring your corners together, these two outer corners, and then pinch it together here and just kind of push it down, stick it. Depending on how sticky paper you use. This was just a mailing label. I just printed it out on a mailing label. And actually this one was a little wet, so I kind of messed it up. But I wanted to show you how I printed the flag just to get it to look on both sides like it does. So, all right. So that was it for the Uncle Sam, Hillbilly Uncle Sam. And hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, I appreciate you giving me the likes and subscribing to the channel. And you guys haven't subscribed yet, you know, please subscribe. I don't know why you haven't yet. But I hope I can encourage you to pick up a knife and a block of wood and get started carving if you're not carving yet. So we'll see you on the next video, and thanks for watching.